Alright guys, welcome back to another Mask of Momentum video. Today, we're going to go over, uniquely, the first time on this channel, an EGE Open Series. This is going to be the first one. This is going to be the quarterfinals here. Actually was at this event, so the EGE events are run out of California, and, being in Vegas, pretty easy to get there. And I went last year, and I got top 4 in the Invitational at that time. How the EGE Open works is that there's a whole bunch of opens, like 6 to 8. I don't know what the exact number is this year. You can go to their website to figure it out. I'll link it down below. But there's a whole bunch of open tournaments you can play, and then the top 16 get invited to their Players Championship, and the 16 fight it out. And yeah, so last year I qualified for the Invitational and got 4th loss in semifinals. I was playing Iceland at that event, so it was really cool. But to get back to the video, we are here at the quarterfinals of this event here, and I was at this event, went 4-2 with Kano, getting 16th for points. But yeah, these guys also playing Kano in this. I think they were both X1, maybe, I don't remember. Going into this, but yeah, so we got Eugene versus Kai. I'm just gonna say, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm terribly sorry. I probably should have looked it up beforehand. But yeah, playing the Kano mirror, it was just super interesting. Obviously, I was glad they actually picked this for the quarterfinals. I was driving home back to Vegas, so I didn't actually get to watch this entire top 8. I know who won, obviously, but didn't actually never watched this game. So this will be the first time I've watched this game in its entirety, basically. So it's really cool. I actually in my EGE run lost a Kano mirror, not to either of these two, but to another Kano, and I completely threw the game, but it's perfectly fine. I think the Kano mirror is super interesting. The first couple things that we can look at entirely here is that both players are playing, Cancelos plus Winning Moon, right? The big thing that I've seen a lot of people talking about Kano, I'm a firm believer that Kano only needs to play 71 cards, and that includes the Winning Moon and Cancelos, just for literally the mirror matchup. Like, I don't even think you need to play Moon or Cancelos versus literally anything else in the entire game. I guess you could play Cancelos versus Viscera if you really wanted to, but I don't even think it's necessary. I think the tunic is just strictly better in 99% of the situations, right? Like, but yeah, interesting sideboards for both of them. People that are like actually using sideboards. I think the only thing that you could really sideboard in this matchup, if you really wanted to, is like a Nourishing Emptiness. This game goes in a couple of different ways. Traditionally, you can't wildfire people in this matchup, because if you go for a wildfire combo on a Kano, they can kill you in response, because wildfire impacts both players, so they can just take the full 6. You have to present another spell to try to kill them, and then, like, you've used your Storm Shatters, or you use, like, the thing off the top, and then you put another spell in the stack, and then the other Kano puts a whole bunch of spells in the stack to kill you, and you just go back and forth of, like, who can kill each other with, like, what spell on the stack, right? And a lot of the time, if you're the first person to move, you're going to lose, because they can always react to you. So it is always better to be so wildfire isn't really the best to try to combo in this matchup, unless it's like there's not much that you can do to where you would want to wildfire. Try to wildfire combo, right? So we'll see a decent amount of stacking in this game to try to go second cycle. The Winning Moons do get a lot of chip damage throughout the game if you want to keep a 3-card hand, because basically you kind of play chicken of like dying throughout like the entire game, right? So let's see how it goes here. Can't wait to look at it to see who goes first or second. I think you should always try to go second in this matchup, because you want to limit your opponent's Alluvian Cancelos counters and other stuff like that. You do want to play a significant amount of potions in this matchup as well. The E-Pots and Deja Vus, they give you a lot of reach in a lot of different situations, which is quite good, right? This is also another matchup where the Swell Tiding specifically does have a lot of value here as well, and I'm excited to see that at least one of us is playing. Yeah, definitely wants to play this this potion of Deja Vu here, and not the case the Aegis to take his priority. But yeah, huge shout out to the AGE. Always has an amazing turnout. Really fun to play. I've played a lot of their events. Super professional and super nice. And if you guys are anywhere close to California, I would definitely check them out. So okay, so Eugene activates Kano and looks at the top card, chooses not to banish it here. Uniquely, you'd probably be like, oh, this is probably like an eye or something. But actually, a lot of the times, especially in the mirror, you don't want to. If that was a 2-cost right there, like your opponent could just like winning moon you, and then you take like unnecessary amount of damage randomly. So yeah, do have AB4 for both players in this game. So a lot of the 2 costs, like here, so he's like right here, this is a prime example of why I like Wildfire, like of how to use Wildfire in this matchup, is that you're really just using it as a 2-for-4, right? Uses a 2-for-4. If they want to AB3, they take 1 on, so they take a little bit of chip damage. If they want to pitch for 6 to stop your winning moon, you're just not winning moon, but they always take the 2 cards. It's like pretty good here. So what the other guy is doing here is he's pitching the red and the blue to stop the Wildfire. Then we have an E-pot play, which is quite good here. Like, good for a couple of reasons, like the stack, everything like that. You can stack Wildfire combos like double Wildfire if you really want to, but a lot of the time you are just trying to play for tempo in this matchup a lot of the time. So we're just like playing Gaze just straight up from the arsenal here for a little bit of tempo value. Just getting the op 2 here. Alright, we got one top 1 bottom here. You get through here. He can winning moon, or he could just pass. Just passing is really better, is because you don't want to give your opponent the free Cancella's value. Because Cancella's value is quite good for this entire game, right? That's how you get a lot of. That's how you can pressure with like a card from your hand and your winning moon without pitching like additional cards, leaving yourself open on the back end, right? Trying to get as much chip damage and setup as you can. Basically, if you have triple E-pot out against your opponent in the Kano mirror, it is extremely hard to die, right? So we'll see how they want to approach this from their sides. Looks like the camera is frozen here, but the players are playing. Okay. Just gonna skip forward a little bit here. So plays Full Tidings, super good card in the matchup, and then pitches to play Moon. Other guy took 1 damage at least, and then I believe there's the Moon here for 2. So again, the camera's a little messed up because I can see them playing with this there, and I saw my favorite Justin. But yeah, they had a little bit of technical difficulties. Okay, here you go. Okay, so he takes the 2 from the winning moon and then hits 3 here. Looks like he either played or pitched this card as well. So yeah, that's like the one thing is like you take this chip damage and then blazing comes through here. You really want to find the blazings for like a finisher in this matchup, because although if you can do this right, you can Soul Tidings, Moon, maybe get a 3rd spell out there, then Arsenal like and have a blazing Aetehr like arsenaled, then like that's how you get a lot of value to be able to, you know, chip multiple cards from your opponent's hand. They can't basically play anything, and then you can just kill. You can attempt to kill them if they do play anything. But it's super risky playing in your opponent's turn in this matchup, especially because you can die and if you don't kill them, then it's a little rough, you know. So just want to skip ahead here a little bit because of a little bit of technical difficulties, which kind of happens a lot of the time when you're looking at cameras. But okay, so it looks like he's playing for a tome, a Fiendel from his arsenal. That's going to gain you health here. Basically, playing these yellow tomes from arsenal is a lot of the time what you can do in this Kano mirror. That is really good, right? Because there's a lot of chip damage going back and forth, and then it's going to allow you to make, like, with all the chip damage, right? You just intensely need to gain a little bit of life to not get chipped out as much as your opponent, right? You don't really like playing off the top in this mirror because it takes a full blue, and it's going to take another resource card to pitch for whatever card you go off, but it is kind of needed. And then looks like he actually drew a second yellow tome, so you can put that one in his arsenal as well. So pretty good here, because you can tome and then winning moon, so it's like initially 2, so it takes like kind of like a card from your opponent's hand, and then takes a card from your opponent's hand, and then you can do there, and boom, we see it again from this one now from Eugene, has the tome, and you can't really respond to like drawing 2 cards. You're like, oh well, I respond to drawing 2 cards, take the other 2 cards, and they would gain less. But like, if you respond to tome, and then you don't do a significant amount of damage, or you just like, you can just lose immense amount of pressure and take chip damage because they're going to draw the 2 cards, at least moon you, and going to play another card as well off the top with Kano most likely. It's just a lot of resources that you don't want to expend. But Eugene is very comfortably 7 life ahead in the mirror, right? It is pretty impactful. You can obviously like Kano can obviously kill your opponent like whenever, a lot of the time. So the life lead doesn't matter as much, but it does show a lot of like who has tempo in the game, right? Eugene uniquely has 4 cards in his hand versus his opponent. His opponent actually takes this winning moon for 2. It just passes, doesn't even Kano on his own turn. Looks like, okay, that says to me that he has like a pretty weak hand. It doesn't have a lot of resources, has a pretty weak hand here. Let's see if his opponent can punish him at all, right? Because he pitches the Wildfire to play that tome from Arsenal, and then draws 2 cards, and the best thing he can do is use his Constella's counter and pitch for a moon. Like, if you had just like quad red in your hand, like, I mean, I guess, but you're just like in a terrible situation no matter what. Yeah, and you can see that his opponent has the yellow tome in his arsenal with 4 cards, and he chooses not to play it, because why would you just like pass with like 4 cards in your hand and use your Constella's counter unless you didn't have, you know, if you only had yellows or you only yellows or reds in your hand, right? So he's gonna go on trying to go a little bit more aggro on this. Has the Soul Tidings for 5. Eugene's gonna take the entire 5 here. Basically, that life lead is getting hit entirely, and he's gonna come in with the moon as well, most likely. Yeah, pitches for the moon. Looks like that was a red Emeritus Scolding. If he has known floating gear. Wow, so he's playing red Emeritus in this matchup or another. It's like another one of those, like the 2 cost or like 3 cost like big spells are a lot better in this mirror specifically. This mirror hasn't been super explored because for a very long time, you know, there's not many Kano players, and honestly, the people playing Kano now has like, this is the final time to where like you see a lot more people like actually willing to bring Kano to these like higher level events and wanting to bring Kano because it's actually uniquely a good deck in this format currently, right? So I haven't done a lot of the Kano preparation. It's kind of cool to see like the early innovations of like what people think is good in this matchup, right? like my idea of this matchup was vastly different than when I was talking to other people about it, and I think that's like pretty interesting, right? Like, this matchup has been here for so long, but it's kind of a lot of a decent amount of nuance to this matchup, especially with all these new cards. And people are still running Waning Moon and Constella's just kind of for this matchup because Icelander's not even there anymore. So that's at least cool to see. Have a lot of cyber slots for Kano because honestly, don't have a lot of cards in his card pool that are good. So play around the same 71 to 75 cards pretty much every single time you sleeve the character. So let's see hits Red Tome off the top and decides to play Red Swell Tidings first with his action point. So let's see what his opponent does. That is a pretty solid start here. I think this is one of the times to where you can pitch like double blue to AB4 and only take one on this one because there's at least going to be a Waning Moon coming in, maybe even a third spell because of this Red Tome, drawing him 2 cards if Eugene wants to go for it here, right? Something uniquely you can do in this matchup is if your opponent isn't stacking at all, right? Like he's not stacking any damage, you can kind of fatigue your opponent if you're really trying to go for that, those big, like just playing strictly like yellow tones from Arsenal to gain life, and really just kind of boarding into a way to where you just you use all of your reds first cycle, and then you're not really pitching a lot of them, and then so that you can just solely just pitch for the rest of the game and just fatigue your opponent that way, and then set up just enough to kill your opponent. Okay, so draws the 2 cards off the tome. If he wanted to get an extra 2 damage here, he could have actually plus 2'd on the tome before playing the Swell Tidings, which is pretty... Oh, it's a red flare. This has to be AB3'd here. But it's just pretty interesting that he could have actually plus 2'd the red tome, and if he plus 2 the red tome, he would have got that for sure 2 damage from the Swell Tidings and putting his opponent down to 18. And get that additional 2 points of chip, but hits the red Aetehr Flare off the top, which is insanely good here. And then we're gonna look at that Waning Moon coming in for 2 as well. This is really good from Eugene. If you can triple spell in the mirror, like his opponent's at 1 card in his hand. If you just AB here, then you're taking like so much damage on your own turn from your opponent. Yeah, had to pitch red, yellow, and then pitch blue, because you can't let that Aether Flare hit, because that flare hits, and you just like you can actually just get like Waning Moon, like Storm Shatters blazing, and just take so much damage. Or actually, it wouldn't be close to like actual lethal, but it would be a significant amount of damage that you just can't afford to take in this mirror, like that. So it looks like his opponent just passes back to him. Did just have Epot in his hand. Decides not to play it because obviously he would go to 0 cards in his hand. It's back to Eugene's turn, right? Let's see if he can have another like good triple spell. Ooh, okay, so he does have the Nourishing in his deck, right? So he's pitching the Sonic Boom, coming in for this Nourishing. It's going to be 6 with Dominate, because obviously you don't play any other attacks in Kano. This is like the one time I would say that you can... This is one of those matchups that you want to play actual Nourishing, because you don't play off the top of your library in the mirror nearly as much as other matchups. So this is uniquely very good. Also, it like requires a 3 block from your opponent, so your opponent goes to 3 cards. If uniquely like this, he's already ahead. He can Kano like this and then play a spell at the top, and then take an additional card, or get more chip damage from your opponent, and then draw up to 5 cards in hand and just have, just have a field day, honestly, if you really want to. Or you can do a lot of other stuff. Oh no, the camera. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, so Kano's hits less than a level off the top, and okay, so hits less than a level off the top. Pitches the yellow tome to play lesson, and he's gonna take the full 3 from the lesson, and looking like we're getting chain lightning here to put on top for one of the 5 cards that we are going to draw from Nourishing Emptiness here. See if Eugene wants to use this as like more of a kill setup here, because you're going to draw the 5 cards. That is going to allow you to play, you know, at least one extra spell. If your opponent, like, at all comes in with another, like, if it comes in with, like, any attack towards you, and you're just like, boom, there ain't no way I have 5 cards in my hand. I'm going to use this to be able to play an additional spell for my hand and deal 3 damage to you, plus my arsenal, plus Waning Moon. Like, if the arsenal uniquely is blazing, then this is pretty much almost a 5 card like kill setup here. So let's see what his opponent has uniquely here. See how this game goes. His opponent has like an Epot. It looks like an Epot red tome and another blue. Okay, so to come in with a tome of handle from Arsenal. This is one of those situations, right? Your opponent has 2 cards in his hand. You don't really want to respond to this because he would still gain life, but now he's going to gain 4 life, go to 16. But your opponent's not like really doing anything, right? Like, he's in a Waning Moon. If he wants to play more cards, he's going to have to play off the top, which is going to take uniquely a lot more cards out of his hand to do. So he's pitching the red tome to look at the top. Always allow him to see it, see what there. Oh, red. Looks like a. Okay, I don't know if that's a red or a blue Aetehr Flare. Looks like a blue. It's like a blue one. Okay, it is just a blue one. So just take one. I think if it is uniquely a blue one, I think you always take it. And then, so it is good. Then, got Waning Moon for 2 here, because Aetehr Flare does not impact Waning Moon. Just the next wizard card. Not weapon. Takes additional 2, and then Arsenals. It looks like a 3rd yellow tome going into his arsenal here. Actually insane. Okay, so Eugene doesn't go because his opponent has yellow tome, didn't really overextend into him. Now this is going to be like the real. He now can use that Chain Lightning on his own turn, right? He has the 5 cards in his hand, right? He can you know, Kano, find a spell off the top, play the spell, play Chain Lightning, play another spell from his hand and Waning Moon, and then possibly even Storm Shatters, like anything from his arsenal as well. Looks like that he has. That's a red. Okay, so it's a red spindle here. So, hopefully Eugene's not a little bit like mana short, so he can't do everything. But we're coming in for 3 here. Opponent's at 16. Okay, AB3's it. What else does he have up his sleeve here? What else does he have? Because we know he has the Chain Lightning in hand. So if he has blue Chain Lightning into another spell, you would tap out besides that Epot here, which might actually be fine because your opponent has already used 1 card. Yeah, 21. 21. It is very hard to actually do 21 damage without Wildfire from playing a lot of Kanoker. It is actually quite hard. Oh, his red tome here. And just decides to play it. So we know he has Chain Lightning here, but he decides just to play the red tome instead of. He could have just played Chain Lightning and the red tome. Oh, okay, we have one blazing in his hand. We know that for sure. Looks like he's pushing 2 reds here. Maybe he's just like, him, pretty red heavy in this hand. That's kind of awkward here. You know, he had that Cancelos activation and just kind of like did nothing on that turn earlier. And now, looks like his 5 cards were just like straight reds. Like 1 blue and straight reds here. Had the, you know, still has the Chain Lightning in his hand. You gotta note that one. So, yeah, but it is kind of unique that he didn't try to play the Chain Lightning, which is going to be an automatic 3, and then play the red tome to draw 2 cards. Unless that last card in his hand was like a red. So you would tap out, not uniquely, but keeps 2 cards in his hand. Just draws back up to 4, and his opponent has 3 cards. You did some chip damage. But your opponent's pitching a yellow to come in with this Spindle for 4. Opponent does have a yellow tome still in his arsenal. Uniquely, yellow tome cannot be Storm Shattered. Storm Shattered says a wizard, not attack, not any spell. See what we do here. We come at 4. Your opponent has 4 counters on Cancelo, so you just gonna obviously use it to do the 2 damage here, get a little bit of the tempo back. When you're like down life in the Kano mirror, it feels really bad because you're just on threat of dying all the time, and the only way to get kind of back into the game is playing a little bit risky and like tapping out, or your opponent like whiffing to try and kill you, and then you can kill them in response, right? So. I can say one thing from here is that it does not look like either player really has is trying to stack. Oh, and he's going for it. Kano's here. Hits a gaze. Kano's again. Is that a red Aether Flare? Oh my god, man. That's an incredible hit off the top here, especially right here. So you can, we know he has the Chain Lightning in his hand currently, because he searched for it off the Lesson of Lava a couple turns ago, never pitched it, so has Chain in his hand. Go for Aether Flare for 3, and he's going to gaze before. Opponents need to use Cancelos, and then Winning Moon. Just always take the 2. It should be 2, not 3. He took 3, but it should just be 2 because it is his turn. And Eugene's playing on his opponent's turn here. So he looks at the 2 cards, see what you can do. So uniquely has Chain Lightning, right? So you actually don't have to, because usually Ragamuffins you want to put another blue, so you would switch out like the card from your hand for a blue. But with Chain Lightning, you can actually switch. It's actually fine if you put a red card on top, because you would put Chain Lightning on top. You would like Kano, put Chain Lightning on top. Chain Lightning comes through, and then you can play the red card from your hand as well because of Chain Lightning. Looks like he is using this as like a Metacarpus nodes on the stack and thinking about it. Basically using a white border Metacarpus nodes because it looks like trash. Fucking white border cards look terrible. Although Eugene has like 3 of them on the board, and I am quite disappointed. But it is fine. Okay, so he uses Kano. And he's gonna let the Kano resolve. Ooh! Hits the wildfire. A lot of the time, you don't want to just have wildfire in your arsenal to try to kill them. But if you hit it off the top like this, this is kind of insane because his opponent's at 14, and he's really just like going for it here. Like, 1 card in his opponent's hand, you can kill him through a lot of things. Hits really well. There's that chain lightning. So he's gonna pitch just to, you know, actually have the Metacarpus node here. So Metacarpus is coming in for 5. Okay, let's count the damage. If his opponent has a blue, Wildfire is going to do 2. Then there's going to be a Flare. He has Blazing and Arsenal, he kills him. Because you pop the E-Pot, pump the node on the red Flare, and then Storm Shatters. So it's going to use the 2 resources there. Uniquely, he doesn't actually have to pump. Is it better if you pump? He's wanting to be 2 damage. No, it's actually better if you pop E-Pot to Waiting Moon for 3 if you have Blazing specifically. Because you're turning 2 resources. Yeah, it would be better if you played Waiting Moon instead of pumping the extra 1 here. Oh, cameras are back. See Eugene hanging out. His opponent using the Ragamuffin's hat. Obviously has a red in his hand. Looks like he has a Cindering. And then he's gonna switch that out for a blue. But I think it's over here because of just how because if he has a blue, takes 2 from the wildfire, and then that's a red Aetehr Flare. Aetehr Flare would come in for 5. So he takes 2, goes to 12, takes 5, goes to 7. And then anything else is getting puffed by 7, so it's literally any spell from the arsenal. It doesn't have to be blazing, it has to be anything. Literally any spell is going to get pumped by 7, and then his opponent will die. So yeah, even a blue doesn't do anything here. So yeah, pitch the blue. Takes 2 here, goes to 12. Just like the writings on the wall here. Would only be very awkward if the card from his arsenal he can't play with Storm Shredders. But I don't think he would go down this line. If you... Yeah, there's no way you would go down this line. Okay, yeah, and he's winning. Coming in for 3. This opponent's gonna take 3, go to 9. Flare for 5, go to 4. And has the blazing. Yep, coming. All right. It looks like a great game. Great game from Eugene. Honestly, like had the tempo pretty much the entire time. It was kind of crazy that he actually goes for the kill on this turn, but I mean his hand was like triple blue chain lightning, right? And you know chain lightning opens up just a significant amount of like different combos that you can do, and with Kano, but looked like pretty good mirror match. Honestly, like it's pretty cool to see how other people play the mirror specifically. His opponent was playing like Cinderings, his opponent was playing a red emeritus and stuff like that, unless like he wasn't representing the dice correctly. But uh, yeah, it's actually like quite interesting to see what people want to play. I know people like playing snapback specifically in this matchup as well. It's kind of like that chain lightning thing, and no, it's pretty nice to watch that Kano mirror match on stream. Can't wait actually to see more, to see how like the mirror actually develops, and how like through like how I tested with Majin is decently different than what I've seen a lot of other people play it, and I don't know which one is correct currently, but I'll definitely see you guys in the next episode. I'm going to go through all 3 of these AGEs, the quarterfinals, the semis, and then the finals as well. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.